My name is Vaibhav. Hello. Yeah. Hi, my name is Vaibhav. I'm the co-founder of FT Cash. I'll tell you a brief story today. Just imagine a couple, right? Priyam and Vijay. They work all their 6 days a week, working in MNCs, typically very busy. So what they do is they typically buy their groceries from the local Kirana store, and they order it on the phone. This guy delivers it to their house. And they say, okay, we'll do a monthly settlement at the end of the month. What happens is whenever this guy comes to the house to pick the grocery up at the end of the month, they're like, yaar, abhi cash nahi, aap baad mein leke jana, whatever, right? So typically the payment never happens on time for these guys, the retailers, I mean. And eventually, because now they're falling short of the working capital, they end up actually borrowing money from the money lenders as well, right? And this is a big problem for these guys. Not that Priyam and Vijay don't want to pay it, it's just that they sometimes don't have the cash at home, or they just are not in a mood at that time to pay that money. So this is where we come into place. We empower micro merchants and retailers with the power of payments and loans. We believe that loans and payments go hand in hand in terms of like bringing in retailers to maximize their output of business as well, right? So in terms of the opportunity, there are about 55 million micro merchants in the country, right? And these vary from newspaper guys to retailers, education institutes, and all these. And the penetration of the POS machines or the hardware devices has been actually less than 2%. It's 1.2 million POS machines. That definitely shows that there is a 98% market which is still open, right? The reason why these machines have not penetrated the market, one, they have a fixed cost, installation or a setup fee. They have monthly rentals. At the same time, the retailers find it very difficult to find that whole interface with the banks and companies. At the same time, there's also a cash-related frauds and issues that they face on an ongoing basis. And every time with a POS machine, you have to typically go to a merchant and make a payment right there when you can do it otherwise as well, right? And the last point, which is the most important, they still do not have access to financial capital because from banks or NBFCs because they don't have any transaction history with them. So this is where we come into as FT Cash. We provide a payments and a loan solution. The payment solution requires a merchant only to have a regular mobile phone, like a dumb phone, and a bank account. The money comes into his bank account the very next day after the payment or the transaction has been complete. And in terms of the customer, he can make a payment through the mobile app by searching for the merchant. And we have aggregated all the payment options there, which include credit cards, debit cards, mobile wallets, including PayPal as well. Right? So from that front, we have aggregated all the solutions. So we want to make sure that we become the one-stop solution for all the merchants' financial needs today. So from the lending side, once we have a merchant transacting with for about 3 months to 6 months, right, we actually are able to give him a pre-approved loan as well, which can also be a working capital loan. This enables the merchants to actually adopt digital payments as well. There was a recent study done by USAID, which said that credit is the biggest hook for digital payments adoption. And we're basically going by the same philosophy to get loans as a hook to, for people to accept digital payments as well, right? So these are the 3 payment methods that are there. One is a mobile application, as I explained. The other one is like a hyperlink. So each merchant is given a unique hyperlink which he can SMS or WhatsApp it to anyone so that they can start accepting digital payments. At the same time, the third one is if they want to go ahead to the next step wherein they want to integrate that in their website or app, they can do that as well as a third option. The money comes into the bank account the very next day. So we're not a wallet ourselves. We're not any of the financial instruments. We basically are just an open aggregation platform for them. So a few advantages, right? So there's no hardware involved, so the scalability is much faster here, right? The cost of acquisition of the merchant also is very low, right? Merchants can start accepting payments immediately, like the uptake of the merchant, because the learning is very fast, it's actually immediate that they can start accepting electronic payments. Because it's an open platform, so tomorrow if Bitcoins become the next big thing in India, we can actually open up to Bitcoins as well to accept money from there. Right? And loans, like I said, is a bigger hook for these merchants as well. For customers, they don't have to make a payment while going to these merchants as well. They can do it like actually sitting at their home as well. What our business model is, we charge merchants 1.8% on each transaction. So likewise, there is no upfront money cost, there's no monthly rentals. And the other way where we make money is actually the loans as well, where the spread is much higher. So far, we have onboarded 2,500 merchants in over a year, right? We've processed about 10 crore plus of volumes, and we've grown about 40% month on month in terms of our merchant acquisition and volumes. In terms of volumes itself, we've grown almost 10x in the last 6 months. So you can probably see that from the graph as well. We've done about 54,000 transactions in total. These are some of the awards that we had won. We got incubated by PayPal. We were there in a couple of TV shows raising funds as well. One of the interesting pieces was that we got awarded by Prince William and Kate Middleton during their trip to India recently. Uh, These are some of the merchants. So while we have like merchants which can range from a doodh wala, sabzi wala accepting us, we have some of the larger mid-segment merchants also accepting us. The retail segment still holds 56% of our core business, right? And our payment partners includes various wallets as well as banks as well. Right? Our team comprises of senior executives from like Deutsche Bank, KPMG, LGT Ventures. We're all from like Wharton, Harvard, SRCC, and other colleges, right? And some of the IITs as well. So yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations on all the awards. Two questions. First, on your payment side, right?
Yes.
The story that you painted first
Yes.
relies on the final consumers, not the merchants,
Yes.
to pay.
Yes.
Right? I think that was the problem statement, right? So what I didn't understand is, are you making it easier now? I understand the aggregation,
Yes.
the hooks for the merchants.
Correct.
Ultimately, if the consumer, the final consumer doesn't want to pay, how does your solution help or doesn't help?
So it's actually the request from the customers itself that often comes in for the payments itself to these merchants. They are initially hesitant to accept digital payments, right? But when the merchant only says that, sir, why don't you make a payment through FT Cash or any other payments, electronic payments, then the customer doesn't mind paying it, right? And that way, the customers also get more used to paying through the digital channels. And while, because the cost proposition is very interesting for them in terms of the merchants, because the adoption is very quick, because there's no setup fees. So then they also push much higher because they know, like, it doesn't hurt me to at least give it a shot to begin with. So once they have tried, like at least when you see our cohort analysis also, right? Once they have tried about 3 or 4 transactions, then the merchants also start promoting the product a lot more.
Okay, second is on your loan product, right?
Yes.
Are you a platform here? Where are you getting the money for the loans to be given to the merchants? What are the terms of the loan? Do you have any data that says
Yes.
you'll get the money back? Understand the loan product.
So the loan process works in 2 ways, and I can just give you a little bit of background on that. So based on the transaction history, we give a pre-approved amount to the merchant, saying that this is now the amount of loan you can take. He takes that money. The repayment of the loan actually happens from our platform itself. The underwriting is actually done by an NBFC, right? We don't take the underwriting on our books. We are not an NBFC ourselves, right? So there are a bunch of NBFCs that we have tied up with. That makes our books at least easy to go with, and like that way the risk is not on us. Because the repayment is happening through our platform, so that's why the spread that we can charge from them is much more than a lead generation itself. Right? The other thing I just wanted to mention was that with respect to a lot of retailers, like even large FMCG companies and others, right? What some of the things that we're trying to now do is that their distributor to retailer payments, we're actually trying to make that happen through the FT Cash platform itself. And that can happen on a fixed cost model. So what happens is when we get the retailer data as to how much the retailer is buying from the distributor, there from that history itself, I'm able to gauge what kind of capacity this guy has to actually buy more products, right? And then when the FMCG company or any company comes up with an offer, then I'm able to give him a certain amount of loan right there, so that the FMCG company is also able to get like a higher traction for their product than they come with an offer. And we're also able to give out the loans to a larger number of people as well.
Who do you see as your largest market, and who do you see as your largest competition?
So in competition, I'd say that there are different players operating. So there is like, in payments, there are multiple players operating. There was, I think, Momo, Ruplay, some of these players which were working on the quick wallet, working in this space. Their primary difference was that they were far more focused on the F&B space and the salon space, as well as the having a proprietary wallet. We're actually completely not focused on that. So that is one. In the loans, there are companies like NeoGrowth who are working in the same space, but they are getting the products or the loans or the data from like the POS machines which are given by Pine Labs and others. The challenge there is that they don't own the data. So if someone just snaps off the data from them, then they don't have any proprietary data of their own to be able to give those loans as well, right? So, and to answer the second question, sorry, the first question of.
Where do you see the biggest market, and
So-
where do you see the biggest competition coming in?
So the biggest market is, of course, like the metros itself, and some of the target segments that we have identified are the retail segments itself, like because 98% of the market is still open. But there are certain segments like the retailers who do not have a POS machine today are our biggest market, because the ones that already have probably feel that, you know, I'm workable with a swipe machine or something, but the ones who have not been able to adopt are probably the biggest market for us.
Do you see some of these payment gateways and all being your biggest market? Why not gas bills?
The bills and all are like very saturated. So right now, like we didn't want to get into the whole discounting and cashback because you end up burning a lot of money. So we want to make sure that at least we start making money soon enough. So from that front, like we've stayed away from that piece as much as possible.
And does your platform allows wallets to shift money from one wallet to the, like today consumer will have some money parked in Ola, some in
Yeah.
Paytm, some in Uber.
So
and
that's an interesting question,
free
right? So
charge.
yes, you can do that.
Can I shift my free charge parked money into Ola money?
No,
or
not within wallets, but what you can do is like if you want to make a payment to your local grocer from an Ola wallet so that the money goes into his bank account. Whether he accepts Ola wallets or not, it's not your concern. He accepts FT Cash, and that way you can park your money from your Ola wallet to his bank account, which is fairly a good point, because then even if you have 500 rupees in Ola and 500 in MobiKwik, you can transfer $1,000 that you have to pay in from these two accounts. And that makes like a little more use of the cashback that you've got.
And how much do you have to pay to these payment wallets to use their services?
So we pay an average cost of about 1.05%, and we charge them 1.7, 1.8%. So we make a profit of about 70, 80 basis points on each transaction.
Thank you so much. Yeah.